Hi everyone, this is Blake Anderson, and I'm a registered social worker and therapist as well as a life coach here in Toronto, Ontario. And in this video, I'm going to cover the concept of creating your own personal manifesto. And so personal manifesto is basically a living document that you can use to help with your vision, your goals, and as well as your values and other concepts in order to really be more intentional in your personal life as well as in your professional life. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through from my years of experience as well as my own research in this area, how to create your own personal manifesto. And so I'm a registered social worker and I have roughly 13 years of clinical experience, and I've been working with countless individuals as well as working with couples and families, as well as helping people with their personal transformation and growth. I have insight into psychology, philosophy, and productivity research. And in this video, I'm going to cover how I came up with various concepts of my personal manifesto, how I experimented with what I felt works with regards to this document. I will cover Mike Smith's personal retreat framework, as well as a book by Stephen Covey called Your Personal Mission Statement, and other books such as the book The One Thing, The 12-Week Year, and also Cal Newport's book, Deep Work. So the whole concept of creating your own personal manifesto is getting out of the gap or the default mode of your life. And so often people will revert back to their normal routine or their kind of basic ways of operating. And, I think a lot of us have our goals and we likely write them down. We might make some steps towards them, but often people get overwhelmed or get busy with life, or simply they don't have as much focus in terms of really being intentional with how they're designing their life. By creating a personal manifesto, a document that you regularly review, you're able to be much more intentional and design your life, not so much by it being a default, but rather being more intentional and coming from a framework and a deeper philosophy in which you want to live your life. So in terms of creating your personal manifesto, there are some core concepts to understand. The first is to write a mission statement. It can also be called your ultimate mission, and you can then also create a vision statement. So this is kind of like your ideal in about 5 years or so. And then there's different roles, and you can define your roles more clearly, as well as values and goals. And I'll be covering other concepts, but those are the core concepts covered in your personal manifesto from my research and from what I see works, at least for myself, and I've recommended to my clients. Understanding though that this isn't not just a one and done exercise, it's something that does take time and something that you really should take time to devote to, as well as it's something that's a living document, so something that you will refine over time, and it's not written in a stone tablet, but rather it's something that you revisit from perhaps quarterly to yearly. The good thing about personal manifesto is that you can develop high impact habits and really understand what are the habits that are going to get you to your ultimate mission and to your goal. And it allows you to align your North Star and keep yourself accountable as well, so that you have more self-assurance with that you're heading in the right direction and that you are pursuing your calling. In terms of the main concepts, again, is to understand default mode versus vision design mode. Often, as I mentioned, we can default to autopilot as well as just kind of defaulting to the normal way of being, right? And this personal manifesto though has you shift your focus, and in order to be much more deliberate and more intentionally focused with regards to your life. And it allows you to reflect on your default routines and identify what's really going to make the change in your life in terms of your high impact activities. And so the first step that I do in regards to my personal manifesto is crafting a mission statement. In terms of a mission statement, this is like a one sentence why, and this is inspired by Stephen Covey's work in terms of coming up with a concise mission statement that resonates with deep purpose in your life. And so this is basically, ultimately, why are you here on the planet? What is your ultimate mission? What gets you up in the morning? What really inspires you? Key here is also to consider that it's something that you do for others, and what kind of impact you want to have on the world, and not simply for your own personal gratification or interest, but rather something of a larger larger calling. Second then part of a personal manifesto is clarifying your vision. And this has you develop a 5-year vision that outlines what you want in terms of your work, your relationships, health, and personal growth. And I will go through my own personal manifesto. If you want, you can see it on my website in terms of how I came up with my own vision statement. And I walk you through in terms of how to think about these core areas of your life, pulling from research that I've come up with from Mike Smith's personal retreat course, as well as Stephen Covey's book, The Personal Mission Statement. So once you've clarified your vision and really in detail describe what you want in 5 years, then you want to identify your goals and your values. And so that's the third aspect of my personal manifesto. And in terms of values, you want to come up with pinpoint, core principles that drive you, in terms of, it could be supporting human flourishing, maintaining integrity, or living with creativity. And in terms of these values, they're what, when life gets difficult or life gets hard, these are like what you return to and what really keeps you going and what's the driving force in your life. A concept also to understand too is that often people will focus on what they want in terms of dreams and desires that they have in the future, and let's say in 5 years. But it's really better, I think, to consider starting with your values and going from there and building your life around those values, as that's kind of the way that you operate generally, and likely is the way in which your life is going to unfold by these values. So something to consider, not just focusing so much on the future and on goals, but rather designing your life based off of your values. And so on my website, I will walk you through how to come up with your values. Typically, I would suggest having 5, at most 6 core values so that you have a clear understanding of what they are in your life. Another aspect of the personal manifesto is coming up with roles and responsibility. And this is a concept that I've taken from David Sparks. He has a course on, like a productivity course with regards to understanding your productivity in terms of your values, and giving you basically a system of understanding how to think about these deeper principles when understanding life's vision and purpose. So in his course that I took, he talks about identifying your key roles. This could be, you're a husband, it could be you're a clinician, you're an educator, you're an athlete, but articulating these different roles in your life is very important in order to, once you have your core roles, then you can break down like the core activities. And so these are 1 or 2 main activities that will lead you to living that ideal of that role or that responsibility that you have. I will walk you through again a little more detail about how I came up with my core roles and responsibilities, but that's another aspect of a personal manifesto that I created. Once you've done that, another understanding is to develop 12-week year goals. And so there's a lot of talk about SMART goals and different ways of coming up with goals. In this book, though, I read the 12-week year, and it's used in a lot of programming or in coding. The Agile method is a method that is often used in that industry. And the 12-week year, so is basically the concept is that, same way that businesses might aim for these kind of quarterly results, and teams will, from week to week, basically do these sprints, right? And they will review each week about how they did in terms of the results, and then refine as they go from week to week. But having a larger 3-month goal allows you to makes it, something that is not too far in terms of it being like a year goal. Like a lot of people have a New Year's resolution. But from this book, what they explain is that often that's too far in advance, and I think gives you too much wiggle room to not be accountable, right? To follow through on your actions. But when you have a 3-month goal, someone that's somewhat more imminent, but not so imminent that you're not able to have a larger vision in terms of what you're aiming for. I will walk you through how to come up with these 12-week year goals on my website if you want to check that out. Once you've done all this in terms of these core areas, there are a few other aspects that I cover, but those are the core concepts of creating your own personal manifesto. And again, to remind you that this is a living document and something that you're going to review regularly, something that from day to day, from week to week, that you're checking in with this document and perhaps adding to it over time as life changes or you develop different responsibilities. It's your way of checking in on yourself and updating and celebrating your wins as well, and adjusting your life based off of new insights. It's a way to review your progress and allows you to align your vision more clearly. Another concept concept in the Personal Manifesto that I'll cover is the overcoming of obstacles and staying motivated. As I think we all know that we can easily become, we all have our, challenges or our issues or our limitations, or perhaps our weaknesses that can get in our way. And so in this Personal Manifesto, I've created the one section called light energy and dark energy. And so light energy is, what's your life going to be and why do you want it to be this way, and kind of who's counting on you and what would this mean for the world, sort of thing. And then the dark energy is, if you don't follow through on this mission or on living your best life, what's going to happen and what's kind of the downside of it. And so I'll walk you through those different aspects as well. And you can find that again on my website where I clarify more clearly how to come up with those sections. Putting it all together, a personal manifesto allows you to have a clear, grounded aspirations and values that you're living by. And it allows you to have actionable steps so that you can adjust over time, daily to weekly to quarterly, in order to make sure that you're keeping yourself accountable and moving forward and making progress in your life. It allows you to clarify your goals and your responsibilities, your values, and your mission statement, as well as your vision statement. And again, my goal here with creating your personal manifesto is to help you understand the theoretical underpinnings and the hands-on practicalities of forging a personal path. So I hope you like this video. I walked you through the different aspects of creating your own personal manifesto, and I will go in more detail on my website if you want to check that out in terms of how you can come up and with your own personal manifesto. And I'll share different insights, my own experience with creating my own personal manifesto, as well as helping other clients with their vision and their purpose in their life. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe. Thanks and have a great day.